Well, let's talk now to Dr. Sian Rees, who's an Associate Professor of Social-Ecological Systems at the University of Plymouth. Good to see you, Sian. Thanks for talking to us today. I want to start by asking you about the news that an El Niño weather pattern has been declared. What does that mean for the world? What can we expect?
Well, thank you for having me. I'm not a climate scientist, I'm a marine conservation scientist, but we understand that the impacts of El Niño, a large El Niño, are potentially going to be very severe. And as they unfold, this should really serve as an emergency warning system that we actually need to really protect and restore nature so it has the resilience to bounce back and cope with these kind of extreme climatic events that we are more likely to have.
And looking back at when the last El Niño was declared in 2016, the effects of climate change that we're seeing on our planet have become more apparent. Will this exacerbate that?
Well, any situation where we lose nature, we basically lose all those benefits that nature provides. So, for example, the oceans provide us with the air that we breathe, with the food that we eat, and anything that exacerbates that should make us much more, should create much more urgency in the need to mitigate for climate change in terms of large-scale restoration projects for nature, particularly within the marine environment.
So when it comes to our oceans and the ecosystems within them, what are the biggest problems they're facing? Is it something like climate change, or is it something that people are doing?
Well, climate change has the potential to be quite, not quite, will have a huge impact on the oceans. But the biggest threat when we remove climate change from that equation are the activities which cause destruction of marine ecosystems, and these are unsustainable fishing practices, and this is closely followed by the impacts from pollution from the water and the farming industries.
So the UN Secretary-General, among the people calling for greater action to protect our oceans, when it comes to protecting them, how much of that is down to policy change and how much is down to personal responsibility? What can we do to help protect them?
Well, what we have to do is we have to really accelerate ocean conservation towards this idea that we need to have 30% of our marine ecosystems really protected for those critical, what we call ecosystem services, those benefits that nature provides. So the policy change is clear. We have to work up to that 30%. And then that doesn't mean that we then just get to trash the rest of the ocean. We then have to think about how we use that other 70% sustainably. So there's some really exciting innovation around sustainable shellfish farming, seaweed aquaculture, that can have really amazing effects for both ecology and economy. Within our own personal role that we have in starting to think about the ocean and climate change is essentially to think about the things that we eat, the types of food that we eat, the types of fish that we like to have, and to consider looking for accreditation or certification schemes that tell us if that fish has come from a sustainable fishery or not, and the type of fishing gear that is used to extract that fish from the ocean and whether that's damaging marine habitats or not. So we should be thinking about our consumption, potentially thinking about other forms of protein consumption, other ways of growing that food as well, and then also integrating that with nature-positive solutions within the marine environment.
Sian Rees from the University of Plymouth, good to talk to you today. Thank you for